Back with another video today, this time to induct another film into my favourite films list. Sam Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch. What a game changer. This film redefined cinema, both in terms of its story, its violent content and its influence on cinema thereafter. Up until about 1967, when Arthur Penn's Bonnie and Clyde came out, and then 2 years later The Wild Bunch, films were pretty mild in terms of violence. Yes, there had been very specific examples. Un Chien Andalou, excuse me if the pronunciation is wrong, which was made in the 1920s, a short film, opens with a very nasty bit of business. But mostly cowboys and Indians, you fired a gun, no blood. But Bonnie and Clyde and The Wild Bunch, they were from a different type of mindset, the radical 1960s, the hippie era, at the time when Vietnam was in full swing, when people were rebelling against authority. And that's very much the attitude which is in this. You have these outlaws who are really, they're at the end of their rope, to be honest, and they find a way to fight back against the system. I mean, they bungle the robbery at the beginning by stealing bags of washers, which they thought were coins, you know, money, and so they need some cash. So they go to this Mexican general, Apache, and get a job from him, and then that's the whole crux of the story. Then obviously they're being pursued by one of William Holden's old friends, Robert Ryan as Dick Thornton. What a fantastic cast though. William Holden, Ernest Borgnine, Robert Ryan, Edmund O'Brien, fantastic. And just the camaraderie that came out in these dialogue scenes between the characters. And then you've obviously got Warren Oates and Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was a fantastic horse rider. If you see him in Rio Grande, the film, the cavalry picture he did many years before, and top actor. The scenes in this that are violent are so quick. I mean, they're no, there's none of this languishing on it. So yes, Peckinpah uses slow motion, but uses it in the midst of quick close-ups and cutaways and reaction shots, and I guess by modern standards, by modern gory standards, this is pretty tame. But for the time, it would have been like watching Saving Private Ryan when that came out. I saw it in the cinema. That D.A. landing sequence, I was like, what the hell? To which relatives said, shut up, Rich. But it was just groundbreaking. Now when they say, oh, we're pushing the envelope, we're putting more gore, you see someone cut with a chainsaw or whatever it is, No. When you've got a good story, when you've got great characters and dialogue, the violence should be a part of that equation, not the equal sign. And that's how it feels in this. It's not something that's there for its own sake. It's reinforcing what's going on in the story. And that's why it redefined movies, and why it still stands as one of the great examples. It has one of the all-time finest movie endings. And again, if you want a, example of how you should treat characters, how you treat potential mortality with characters, watch The Wild Bunch, because it's all there. Films like Alien 3, Star Trek Generations, Highlander Endgame, Star Wars, Force Awakens, just don't do it. They don't. It's throwaway, it's too glib, there's no impact. And so you get this amazing confluence of ideas, craftsmen, all working behind the scenes. I mean, I remember watching the making of The Wild Bunch, and when he was talking about the end scene when Warren Oates, Ben Johnson, Ernest Borgnine and William Holden are walking into the lion's den, if you like. I want to do a walk thing, and the music as well, which has grand moments but also has moments of subtlety Jerry Fielding, brilliant. I think the unsung hero of this whole enterprise, and arguably the one who should have been most worthy or most given due Oscar consideration, is editor Lou Lombardo. How they overlooked his contribution, I will never ever understand. Amazing. And if you look at the editing, the moments where he lets it hold, and then the reactions between, I mean, just Borgnine smiling on the train when he's holding up the gun, you know, they were like on those two guys, and just the little moments with Edmund O'Brien, and oh, it's just fantastic, man, brilliant. Z, this political thriller, in the same year, got the editing Oscar. It's all right. I didn't think the editing was that revolutionary. Some people do. To each their own. But The Wild Bunch was groundbreaking in the same way that Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was groundbreaking. Easy Rider, fantastic. But overlooked. I mean, at least The Wild Bunch got 2 Oscar nominations. Best Original Screenplay for Waylon Green, Sam Peckinpah, and Fielding got nominated for his score. So it did get some recognition, even though it lost in both categories to Butch Cassidy. Understandable. Butch Cassidy was a very popular film in its day, and obviously when you've got that many groundbreaking films at once, something's going to get lost in the shuffle. They try to sort of spread the wealth of it these days, but there aren't many good films. There aren't anywhere near as many great films, and that's The Wild Bunch. Influential because its violence reinforces the story and doesn't just stand on its own, lessen the sum of its parts. No. Violence has something to say. There's consequence to it. It's not just, oh, look at this, you know, blood spurt and all the rest of it. No. It's there for a reason. Peckinpah, much like what Clint Eastwood did with Unforgiven a couple of decades later, revitalises the Western and makes you think about it differently, that there's consequence to your actions. It's all account of pulling the trigger, you know. And it's not about giving you a word, it's who you give it to. I think the other thing that I take away from The Wild Bunch is the fact that even when life throws you a curveball, even when things don't go your way, if you can laugh, as they do, just like Walter Houston and the Treasure of the Sierra Madre, if you can just laugh at it and go, you know, oh, you got me. That's the message to take away from it. Laugh even when it doesn't quite work out. Well, The Wild Bunch is a masterpiece. Now that word's overused nowadays. Any new film that has great critical opinion or public, you know, reception is considered a masterpiece. Oh, masterpiece, this new film. It can't be labelled a masterpiece because it hasn't got legs. It's not been out long enough. 10, 15 years the film has to have been out at least. But not only that, you have to have seen the influence it's had on other movies and other aspects of media, music videos, maybe graphic novels or literature, art, anything, you know, architecture, because movies touch upon all the different disciplines, even dance. So there we are. And The Wild Bunch is a balletic, Peckinpah inspired mayhem fest that is just absolutely enthralling from beginning to end. Wonderful dialogue, great action scenes, terrific score, a great movie, and now it's one of my all-time favourite movies. Only got a few spots left. I'll be carrying on with the list and I'll update you as they come in. I'm Richard Jack Smith, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.